So how important is the nakshatra of your ascendant? Many of you have asked, and I actually wanted to make a video on this too. You know, the nakshatra setting on your ascendant, meaning that at the time of your birth, your ascendant, your rising sign, was at a certain degree. That means it is being ruled by a certain constellation, nakshatra. And how important is that? Well, it is just as important as your moon nakshatra. And I'll tell you why. First of all, the ascendant is a map of your entire life. Everything is mapped out based on your ascendant. That means nakshatra is having a very profound influence on your entire life, depending upon what nakshatra is it. You know, if it's, let's say, if it's Taurus ascendant, and you have Mrigashira nakshatra on it sitting, that means you have Venus controlling your entire life, or is the controller of entire life, yet Mercury is also there. And the one way you see how this nakshatra actually helps you or affects you is that you see when the lord of that nakshatra, the planet that is controlling that constellation, the nakshatra, when its dasha period comes in, meaning its planetary time period comes in of 17 years, of, let's say if it's Mercury, so 17 years of Mercury time is coming, and wherever Mercury is sitting, good or bad, you know, it's really gonna uplift not only the house that Mercury is sitting in or the house that is controlling are gonna be activated, but if it's also controlling your ascendant, it's gonna lift your entire life up into a certain direction. Whether good or bad, you have to, you know, look at the chart to see how it's gonna affect you. But this is especially is important when you see that the dasha of that particular constellation sitting on the ascendant is about to come. So if it excelled, or if it's sitting in a good house, you know, or sitting in the 11th house in a good position, that means it's not only gonna give you gains, but it's gonna uplift your entire life and bring gains to it. So it's very important that you also see what nakshatra your ascendant sign is sitting in. Not the planet that's sitting in there, unless it's moon, but it's mainly I'm saying what degree your ascendant is in. It is a 6 degree, 20 degrees, 15 degrees. Look what sign is it in, then go check and see, you know, what nakshatra is ruling, what that nakshatra really means in, you know, astrological definition. And that's how you start to also judge your ascendant sign through it. And basically, you know, whenever you're running through a planetary dasha, meaning planetary time period, for those of you who don't know, that particular planet will not only activate the house that it's sitting in, not only I will activate the house that it controls, but also the nakshatra of the house that is being controlled by some other house. But that only happens when a planet is sitting there. So for example, let's say if you are in Aries ascendant, okay, and that means its lord is Mars, and Mars is sitting in, let's say, 3rd house, okay. So when Mars planetary time period comes, and let's say in the 2nd house you have moon sitting at 25 degrees Taurus in the 2nd house. So when Mars planetary time period comes, Mars is not only going to activate the 3rd house, but it's going to activate the ascendant, because it controls the ascendant with Aries, and it's going to activate the 8th house because it controls Sagittarius. But since there's a planet present in the 2nd house at 25 degrees, that means he's a controller of the 25th degree, which falls under Mrigashira. So Mars is also going to activate moon and the 2nd house with it. So you see how you have to, once you know this, it just doesn't sound complicated, but it makes it a lot easier. You see what kind of things you might be experiencing in this particular dasha period. So this is why looking at the nakshatra of ascendant is very important. Looking at the nakshatra of where your moon is placed in is absolutely very important. But other planets also play the part, like I just said. So if your Jupiter is sitting in Ashila, or your sun is sitting in Brahmi Nakshatra, you know, it's still, it's being manipulated. It's not only just sitting in that sign and house, but the nakshatra that it's sitting in, it's really creating a unique sun for you. So I hope this helped. And you know, we'll get into this. We'll get into the Ascendant Nakshatra. We'll get into when Mars goes through the Nakshatra, Sun goes through. I'll do it all. Trust me, there's like, I've already planned out like 1,000 videos, you know, for the next 3-4 years. So trust me, I'm gonna cover everything. I'm gonna cover conjunction of 2 planets, 3 planets, 4 planets, 5 planetary conjunctions. We're gonna cover Dasha series. It's gonna come soon. So stick around. If you're new here, subscribe above because there's a lot more to come. And if you want to know more about astrology and its secrets, check out my link below. Check out my book there, Astrology at the Speed of Light. It has all the secrets in it, guys. Thank you.